You click here because you might, think like me about this new concept of happiness that's been sold to a lot of us that have grown up in the like 2000s and stuff that like, kind of guides a lot of our decisions when it comes to either like, friendships, family, dating, and all these things. And the reason why I want to touch about on this is because I think it's just a big fat lie. I think it's not even remotely close to what it truly means, at least my definition of happiness. And I'm one of those people that actually hates when people say, oh, my definition or how I perceive it. I think it should be, typically, we have to agree on what it is, happiness, to be able to all like progress toward that thing. But we've been lied to, and I'm going to get into it right away. A lot of people, when they talk about, why they left a certain situation, why they left some people, friends, families, because they weren't happy. And they let the absence of happiness dictate a lot of their decisions on a day-to-day basis. It's called being emotional. But now it's not only girls, but it's guys as well. And I'm not blaming anybody, but all of us are victims to that propaganda that's been sold to us that we should be everyday happy. Have you not noticed? Like if you, I did this test because we were talking about that when I had a gathering during the holidays lately, and I asked, the people around the table, we must have been maybe like 12 people, or I don't know, anywhere between 8 to 12. I said, who here has problems? And everybody lifted their hands, right? And obviously you can have problems and still be happy, but the point I was trying to make is happiness is not a constant thing. Our lives are full of trials and tribulations, and every day, if we had to spread it across a sheet, I'd say maybe 90% of our lives there are problems, and you can't be simultaneously happy and have these problems because you got to think about how to deal with them. Happiness is a moment to moment thing. It's a glimpse, a little piece of happiness when you're living life. It'll never be constant. So to sell people on a concept of always being happy is a fallacy, and we live our lives dictated on something that's not possible. That's why I'm not mad, but I had to speak on it because like we will constantly be chasing for that feeling that is fleeting. It won't stay because it's not meant to stay. So to say, for example, I want to be in a happy marriage, okay, if you want to say happy overall, meaning it's good, right? It's peaceful. We don't have any problems. We live a good life. That's good. But to say that you're not happy in your marriage, for example, because your feelings are not always being satisfied or are not always being lifted, is a problem because you're searching and chasing for the dopamine that you feel when you feel happy. But like I said, it's moment to moment, right? It's like saying I want to be feeling that feeling that I feel when I have an orgasm, but on a constant level. It takes away for one, the value of that feeling, because if you always feel it, then it's no longer special, but it's the same principle. So if you've been told and sold on this fake concept of always being happy and to let happiness being the main dictator of your decisions, like, oh, everything I do is to be happy, and if it doesn't make me happy, then I shouldn't do it. Bullshit. Bullshit. And as a man, we got to put that second. This has to be secondary in our lives because most of our decisions and most of what we do typically isn't going to be about happiness. And even the things that are ultimately going to make us happy during the process tend to not be, upfront. They tend to not be rewarding, or they tend to not make us happy when we do them. Right? Being in shape makes me happy. The things I got to do to get in shape, they don't make me happy. I like having a clean room. It makes me happy. Like upkeeping that room to keep it clean, which is picking up shit from off the ground, does not necessarily make me happy. Cleaning up, right? Vacuuming the floor, cleaning it up with a mop, and all these things don't necessarily make me happy. This might sound trivial, but you get the point. Life is monotonous. And by association, most of the things we do don't make us happy. And if they did at some point, they're probably going to stop making us happy because we get used to it. The law of familiarity. We tend to take for granted things we have had for a long time, we're used to, which automatically defeats the purpose of always being happy. I'm starting to feel like I'm beating a dead horse, right? But you get the point. So stop being in that constant loop of chasing happiness, chase purpose, chase fulfillment. That is good. Happiness, too fleeting, too unreliable, too unpredictable. too hard to attain. And that'll help you, get closer to that stoic stance of or that stoic feeling, or that the embodiment of masculinity. I'm bringing it back full circle to guys because that's my audience, right? But like, that's what if you bro that's the response that's responsible for all this fucked up shit we got in society right now. Guys chasing after happiness too. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't be happy, but you get the point. You know what I mean? And I feel like I had to talk about that because it's something I see that's reoccurring, and it has to be addressed, right? But who am I to talk about it except somebody that's seen that up close and they tried to feed me that bullshit. You dig? If you fuck with the content, subscribe, share, and like the video. And I'm gonna see you next time. Peace.